When I saw 16 Candles, I thought, I'm making a discovery of a director. Don't say anything about this guy, because he's got the comedy sense. I like it. And then I found out, no, he's already gigantic.
Your last two pictures, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, and She's Having a Baby, are more adult in theme than your previous pictures. After having written so many teen pictures, have you more or less closed the book on that?
The first two scripts that really worked box office for me were adult things, Mr. Mom on Vacation. I didn't sit down and say, well, I'm going to do a series of teen films and I'll return to adult material. The reason I wrote Breakfast Club was because I wanted to do something that was very small. I figured if it didn't cost anything, they'd let me direct it. So I said, well, I'll make a movie in one room. They'll only have to build one room and we'll never have to leave and we can eat there and everything. And I thought, well, how can you put 5 people in a room besides a jury? And I came up with high school detention. So it was just sort of accidental. I have no plans to really abandon it. I don't know what I'm going to write next.
What was it like to work with the older generation for the first time? People that are over 25.
I didn't have to ask their mother if I could get one more close-up as part of it. We were able to play poker between takes, so that was kind of fun. They actually taught me how.
Well, obviously we had nothing to talk about. We would come in, we'd be talking about books and literature, and he'd be talking about video games and new cars. You know, we just couldn't even talk.
Was it difficult keeping these two guys on script?
No. I didn't have to come in and say, no, do it as written.
Neil, I need your address so I can send you the money for the ticket. Tickets again.
We always, every take was a little bit different, There was no point in doing the same take over and over and over. Before we started anything, we all just had a little conference about whether or not we could make it
Rehearse
funnier.
it, make it play, see if it, what worked, what didn't.
He's not one of those guys who thinks that movies are just something that people write. I mean, there are some people who think that, even with respect to actors and directors, that once your script is finished, that's the thing, and it stands up like a Frankenstein monster and walks on its own. He certainly knows that a movie is made up of a lot of different parts.
We shot more film on that film, I think, than on any movie I've ever done. John was smart. He would let scenes unfold, and he would just let the camera run. And if you let those two talents do what they do best, he's going to get what he wants.
Anyway, it's been interesting.
That's the understatement of the year.
The emphasis was on the acting, getting the characters and staying in character, and shooting out of continuity over long periods of time in different cities. So it was a matter of, you get the character right, you'll get the reality, you'll get the comedy, and everything else will follow.
He's a very pleasant guy to work for. And somebody says you want to go do a couple days on a John Hughes picture, it sounds like a good idea, to me, anyway.
I find it very rewarding working with him. We really think alike in terms of our ideas about movie making, and certainly his ideas about acting are really, really helpful. He really says the right things at the right time, and he works in a way that is really unique and yet incredibly rewarding.
When I think of John's films, they're really more about the struggle for the kids' movies of growing up and all the pains that one goes through. And I think the same thing with Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Here is two sad people in their own way who then rely on each other to get out of themselves.
And the films that he makes, they're not sort of Hollywood fantasy films. They're about real things. A heightened comedy sense, but I think that was what was so successful about him, was that he took everyday events and sort of raised them to a comedic level, but they were grounded in something that was really real and touching, and that's why they were so effective.